Hey guys, this is Impact Hall of Famer Gail Kim, and you are watching the Countdown City WrestleCast.
What's up, heels and baby faces? Welcome to another episode of the Countdown City WrestleCast. I'm your host, JC, and I am joined this week by Tommy.
Yo, what's up? Got my Bear Brown shirt on. I don't know.
And we're not joined this week by Mike. Basically, after Cesaro won the tag titles last night in the Extreme Rules pre-show, Mike went on a freaking bender and got a major hangover, and we haven't really heard from him since.
Mike's been drunk for the past 24 hours.
Yeah, pretty much. He sent me a message to say, hey, man, can't do it. We're celebrating too hard for Cesaro's tag team title win. So, hey, it is what it is. But obviously, Mike's very happy with that result. So,
hey, I am too. It's him and Shinsuke Nakamura, who someone pointed out this is like the first time in I think over 10 years or so that Shinsuke has had a tag title. Yeah. The last person he shared a tag team title with was, surprisingly, Hiroshi Tanahashi.
It's been a while, but it's kind of cool to see that, and you basically get the feeling that Cesaro is a tag team specialist, right? So,
yeah.
Our Twitter account is at @CCG_WrestleCast, and of course, you can subscribe here to the Countdown City Geeks YouTube channel. Today, Tommy and I are going to be recapping Impact Slammiversary, a great show, a great Saturday pay-per-view, and the horror show at WWE Extreme Rules, which is 50-50 depending how you look at it. There's some bad, there's some good. We're going to talk all about it. Before we jump into that, Tommy, did you see Moxley versus Cage last Wednesday?
I saw. I got to watch a replay. Yeah, I did see it. Yeah.
Okay.
I'm trying to remember.
Great match as we expected. Interesting finish though. Taz throwing the towel in on Cage's behalf. I didn't expect that.
I didn't expect that. I will say, because people were ragging on that finish, and I will say, to me, it was like one of those cases of let me protect my guy. Yeah. But that's how I felt, and it still keeps Cage strong because he never tapped. Right. So we'll see what that turns into.
I have expected Cage to be really pissed off afterward and attack Taz, but that didn't happen. So
that could be some seeds laid later. Who knows? It'll play out.
We'll see. So Moxley's still the AEW champion, still riding high. He's still probably pretty much the biggest star out there. So
yeah.
But now Slammiversary, we talked about this last week. We previewed it, and we said, hey, this is probably the most important pay-per-view for Impact. And honestly, the pay-per-view itself, while it didn't start till 7 o'clock Central Time, it really began at midnight that day.
Yeah.
With
that was crazy.
Anderson and Gallows confirming on a live stream that they had signed with Impact at midnight. And there was a lot of tweets throughout the day, some from current WWE talent, wrestlers all over, saying as of today, so many people that were released are free to go wherever they want. So
I thought it was cool how Finn Balor and Tama Tonga both tweeted out Good Brothers, essentially, when they announced it. And I did laugh because it was because part of me was like, were they just sitting in the studio this whole time, just waiting? 11:30, everybody got there. It was
let's do it. Yeah.
Midnight, turn the lights on, guys.
Yes, it was very anticipated. Everyone expected a lot of surprises. A lot of former WWE talent to be making an appearance in Impact. And while we did get that, it kicked off with a huge surprise right off the bat.
It did.
Things we
liked.
My God. Right. So after we recorded, Cars, the Rascals issued an open challenge on Impact last Tuesday. And any tag team out there who answered it but the Motor City Machine Guns. So
I could not have been happier. I am a diehard Motor City Machine Guns fan.
It was a moment I wish fans were in attendance to see because I think that would have gone over huge.
I think the roof might have blown off the place for that. Yeah.
But we'll settle for social media blowing up when they came out, which is pretty damn cool. So
it was pretty cool to see Impact trending for a good reason.
Yeah, exactly. They have something good going, and we'll talk more about them later. But
yeah,
they look a little older, not as fast. So, but it was different to watch them wrestle without all the oohs and ahs that the a live crowd would have for some of the moves that they do and some of the spots they have.
And of course, and then again, they look a little older, but it's also compared to Dez and Wentz. So you're gonna look a little older.
Yeah.
So.
Flashback to last Tuesday. Also, I really enjoyed all of the Hernandez and Rhino arm wrestling segments. I don't know if you've seen these, Tommy.
Yeah, actually.
Yeah,
they're so stupid.
You can watch them in succession on the Impact Wrestling website. And I actually texted Hernandez, says, "Dude, these segments are hilarious." He said, "Thanks, bro." So,
but did you see their mini street fight? And then they decided to over a wad of cash, and they decided to just split it because they beat each other up so bad. Yeah. that killed me when they just stopped and leaned against the fence. They said, "Split it." Yeah, let's split it. Okay. I was like, "Is this how Hernandez actually makes friends?" I'm convinced this is how he actually makes friends.
I mean, usually when places do this, it's an interesting setup because maybe there'll be a tag team, but then again, Heath showing up on Impact, them kind of teasing him and Rhino getting back together as a tag team. We'll see. They got
Make
something
it
in the works.
Who cares?
Yeah,
do a whole faction.
It's interesting there.
The We Gots Kids faction.
What else did you enjoy about Slammiversary?
All in all, it was a solid show, man. I did like the. We'll get to the main event. Kylie Ray winning was great.
Mm-hmm.
I definitely enjoyed, seeing all that. I would say what shocked me was Deonna Purrazzo winning. Of everything that happened, I think that took me by the most surprise, actually.
That was a hell of a match, and beat her by submission too. Got her to tap out, so that was interesting. The North, of course, defeat Sami Callihan and Ken Shamrock, and But yes, before I get into that, here's what I'm gonna say: Callahan was the workhorse of this match. Ken Shamrock looked just lost. I hate to say it, and it's a shame, but I know. I don't get in the ring and stuff like that, but Shamrock, man, I cringe sometimes watching him wrestle because I'm afraid if he takes a bump wrong, he's gonna get hurt. He just seems real fragile in the ring. It just kind of scares me.
Yeah.
So. And I'm not going to have him keep going, but I'm just like, I don't know. He just didn't get involved too much in the match. But yes, afterward, Motor City Machine Guns came out talking to the North, who have held the tag titles for over a year, and laid on the line. This Tuesday on Impact, we're recording this on a Monday night, so by the time this comes out, that match may have already happened, but North versus Motor City Machine Guns for the titles. Yeah.
I'm down for it. That's the kind of stuff I like. That good old tag team stuff. That's what I like.
I guess that's part of the reason we're recording this on a Monday, because we want to watch that on the Tuesday night. So
sure, exactly. Yeah. And we're mad if we're recording and then it's on and then we miss it.
Other things I enjoyed: Tommy Dreamer wearing a shirt that said "Moose sucks eggs."
That was so funny. I was like, first of all, really. Second of all, that's actually pretty good. That's
Tommy Dreamer for you, right? Let's see. Okay, the Impact World Championship. They really hyped up. This is big surprise. Who's it going to be? Who's it going to be? And then it was Rich Swann, who they had shown in crutches earlier in the night, and I was like, okay. And Tina's watching, and she's like, that can't be it. And I was like, really? This is it? And I was like, no, that can't be it. There's got to be one more. And lo and behold, here comes Eric Young. So, but I think go ahead. I'm sorry.
Oh no, I was gonna say I think that was a good swerve because I think everyone thought I think what they probably went for was everyone thinking Impact just dropped the ball for sure on this one, and then there's like no we didn't, we just
It was kind of cool to see because, as I said on the show last week, I feel like, hey, it started off as a 5-way. There's going to be 2 surprise entrants.
Yeah.
Obviously, I didn't get the entrance right, so but still.
Yeah.
Still, even more surprising was that Eric Young and Rich Swann were eliminated 2 and 3 in the match. This was elimination style.
Yeah.
And it came down to Ace Austin and Eddie Edwards. And Tommy, I know.
Oh, close!
It's not his time, I guess.
Yeah, I guess not. Oh well, he got down to the final two, which just means that might lead to more in the future. So that I'll take it. But no, but then again, this is all. But okay, I may have wanted Ace Austin to win. He may have been my pick. But honestly, I never ever have a problem with hearing Eddie Edwards won a match, because as a still to this day diehard American Wolves fan,
yes,
Eddie Edwards was a guy who I never saw coming, but ended up loving immediately. I remember when I heard Dave Richards got paired with somebody in ROH, and I had never heard of Eddie Edwards, had no idea who that was. I think I saw them do one match, and I was like, "Yep, okay, I'm down for this tag team. Let's keep this thing moving. Let's keep Dave Richards with this guy." And then the more I saw the American Wolves, I was like, awesome. And here's something most funny: the day Eddie Edwards won the ROH World Title from Roderick Strong, I swore to you, I thought I read the results wrong. I swear to God, I was like, "There's no way Eddie Edwards just beat Roderick Strong." But then I saw the match, and it was the match itself was great. But I was like, "Oh wow, that was really solid." And so Eddie Edwards winning a world title. I mean, at this point, this guy's won like just about every world title everywhere he's been.
Yeah, definitely.
I mean, Impact, this is the second time, and then he won the ROH, and then he won the GHC heavyweight title in Noah. So Eddie Edwards is never a bad choice to be your champion. Like you said about Simon Callahan, the guy's another workhorse. You know, if you put him in a match, that's the guy who's going to give probably one of the best performances in the whole match or the whole card that you have. So, yeah, Eddie Edwards is world champion. I may have picked Ace Austin, but you never know. They could have a rematch somewhere down the line, and, you know.
Yeah, they're continuing the storyline with Ace Austin trying to, just play Mr. Steal Your Wife kind of thing too. You know.
Yeah, I mean, because that's that's what he does.
Ace Austin, yeah.
That's why I like him. But my wife not allowed to meet him. No way, shape, or form. She cannot.
That did lead to another surprise. It was teased at midnight. The Good Brothers finally did come out and back up Eddie Edwards, taking out Madman Fulton and Ace Austin, post match.
So I've been saying this because I didn't want to say if it was true yet or not until we got it confirmed that they were there. So I'm thinking, could this be what Impact needs to finally get back on New Japan's good side?
Maybe if they're trying to negotiate a buyout with them, maybe. I guess I don't know, but
I don't know. My thing is that ever since that whole Okada mess back then, New Japan just never gave Impact another chance with their talent or their time. So now, because there's no way all of New Japan didn't know that they were going to sign them, because I'm sure the second that those guys got released, their phones were blowing up from Japan. They had to have been.
I'm sure part of it also is with the pandemic going on. There's no way they can get them over there and get them under contract, especially with cases spiking in the United States.
Yeah,
that country is shutting down any travel coming in and out of the U.S. for that reason. So it didn't seem likely that it would happen. So them going to Impact, it was either Impact or AEW, and I think they feel like AEW's tag team division is pretty stacked, and I feel like they felt the need to kind of develop what's going on in Nashville. Gallows has a history, part of the Aces and Eights and everything like that too. So
I mean, and it immediately looked like that they're siding with Eddie Edwards. So I mean, you could just be doing more factions, and to me, if they're doing more factions in Impact, that also to me sounds like another kind of New Japan deal.
Yeah,
it's
definitely.
And again, this is me talking, so I have no problem with this whatsoever. I don't care. I love factions. Give me more factions in wrestling, please, because that helps keep storylines going if something happens, like this, But if they do this kind of deal where Eddie's joining them, and if Impact and New Japan can work out a new working relationship where they can start sharing talent, does that mean that Gallows and Anderson, when they go back to Japan, rejoin Bullet Club? Does that mean Eddie Edwards joins Bullet Club?
Right.
Of course, and again, I can go. So I'll tape about that. So.
Okay.
Oh. Did I lose you?
No, you're here. Sorry. I had to.
Okay.
I realized I had hit record on your thing, so the camera's gonna come up late for you when I do the editing. Sorry about that.
Okay.
Yep. Okay. So overall for the night, we got a few surprises. Let's kind of run them down here. Motor City Machine Guns,
Right.
Heath, formerly Heath Slater. Right. Rich Swann was more of an injury return. Eric Young, the Good Brothers, and the final one they teased as it was going off the air. The guy in the promos with the hoodie and the drink was none other than EC3. And while we all thought he would show up, at least he did make a small appearance there at the end. So
I like that little bit.
Yeah.
Just something about the subtlety of like just him throwing the glass and the look on his face. It's pretty much saying like, the old gimmick is dead. Nothing wrong with that. It's like The Undertaker told Bray Wyatt, kill the past, kid. Just if you got to do something new to keep yourself fresh, hey. EC3 is a great talent. I have no problem with him wanting to do a new gimmick at all because to me, when someone changes their gimmick, it's just like, okay, cool, let me just look at this character in a new way. It never diminished their talent. Like when everyone complained about Undertaker's American Badass gimmick, I was like, yeah, but is he any less threatening? And the answer is a resounding no. Now he's just threatening with a motorcycle.
Yeah.
So I have no problem with him doing a new gimmick, and I think the response so far from what I've seen is pretty positive. Everyone's like, "Oh wow, he looks kind of scary now." So cool, let's do it. And I think Impact kind of already has a Playboy gimmick with Ace Austin. They have the Playboy heel
already
gimmick.
Have that, so
yeah. So now EC3 can he can come back. He can do whatever he's got to do whatever he's got to do. Maybe he challenges Eddie Edwards right off the jump. I don't care. I'm good. Bring him back.
We'll see what they work in because they said Bound for Glory, October 24th. They set a date for that, and we'll see if EC3 makes his way back to the title picture by then. So that is their biggest pay-per-view of the year.
I do like again how they're doing their pay-per-views again. Like they're not doing them month to month, which I thought was risky when they started doing that anyway. But now I'm glad they're spacing them out and getting themselves ready. Building up storylines better.
Yeah, maybe eventually they'll get to that point too. Where they can go month to month. So
again, yeah, when they because so when they first started doing it, they were in a place where they could do it consistently. But there was a couple year stretch there that I was like, dude, you can't do these every month. Yeah. It's clear you can't do these every month, bro. You gotta let some of these go.
Yeah. As far as our picks for the event, we all, as different as our picks were, it's somehow all managed that we all went 3-3. I can't tell you how that worked out.
What is it? What? This is the weirdest year ever.
I know. And not just
I swore after the first time we did that, it's never going to happen. We're ever going to match numbers again for any show we do. And
yeah,
this is the weirdest year of my entire life, and that's saying something. Just every aspect of my life has been weird because of this year. It's 2020. Just man, what happened?
Yeah.
Of course, I did read a hilarious tweet from Eddie Kingston, and he said, I can't remember verbatim, but it said, "Did anyone else notice how Liger retired and the whole world just kind of went to shit?"
That's true. That's maybe what it was. Liger was keeping the world together. That's when you think back on it. Yeah. And he was supposed to go in the WWE Hall of Fame this year too. So
and the mental fact that someone's put out there that Liger himself just wrestling at least once a month was keeping the world together is something I now accept as a factual thing of life, and no one can convince me otherwise. They just can't. The world. And so if 2021 everything goes back to normal, I was like, that's because the world had to find its rhythm again after Liger retired. Liger retired threw everything else off.
That might be a very good reason. That might have a lot of this. Now that you said that, I'm like, damn, that is.
I love how wrestling fans are all going to be like, you know what? Yeah,
right.
That makes sense.
Damn it, Liger. God.
He knows he could have wrestled for another 10 years. We wouldn't have cared.
Yeah. No, I'm kidding. Of course, I'm happy retirement. But Jesus Christ.
If anyone has put in their time in this business and has earned their retirement, oh my God, it's Liger.
Yeah. I mentioned our picks, so we're going to get into now to our WrestleCast ratings for the event. 0 to 5, 5 being WrestleMania 17, 0 being December to Dismember. I'm going to start. I'm going to give this a 4.25. Overall, really good show. There was some, the Moose and Dreamer match was a bit slow at points. The surprises were great. Little things they had there, little teases like Rhino and Heath meeting up in the back. But the Impact always brings it with the matches, and that's definitely worth watching. So 4.25 to me, it has them going on the right track, and I feel like this isn't the only talent that they are bringing back in. I feel like there's more to come. And we'll see how they play this out, but Bound for Glory should be a good road. So Tommy, what about you? What's your rating?
You know what? I'll agree. I'll go 4.25 as well. I was debating between that and a 4.5, but 4.25. I don't want to oversell it and it's like and talk it up too much because there were some not as good moments, but I'll put this is what I've been telling everyone who stopped watching Impact years ago and like they haven't watched it since. I was like, dude, now is the time to get back into it.
Yes.
Because I'm like, I get why you stopped watching. Believe you me, I'm not judging you on that fact, but it's gotten worlds better than what it was.
Yes. Now they've got a steady TV deal, consistent leadership there, and just they have a plan in place. And even through this pandemic, they've done very, very well. I've been very impressed.
And I think what their main problem was back, before during the Hogan Bischoff and all that kind of stuff was pushing too many old stars and not enough new guys. Now they're doing the exact opposite, which is good. They still have some of their older stars, nothing wrong with that, but they are pushing the new talents. I mean, you got guys like Ace Austin, the Rascals, you got Rich Swann, Chris Bay. Won the X Division title. Yes, sorry.
Yes.
I forgot to mention that. Yes, I was so happy about that. That dude's become one of my favorites real quick. Anyway, he won, and Willie Mack. You got Kylie. You got, and honestly, what I've always told people is, if you don't watch Impact for anything else, their women's division is what I think kept them alive. Like,
yes, that was the only reason.
I think the women's division is what saved their life the entire way through. From Gail Kim debuting all the way up until now, is like I think the only thing that kept them afloat from going off was that, and when the women's division started introducing like the what did they call it? Like the Dark World or whatever they were doing, like with Havoc and Su Yung. When that happened, I think all that kind of craziness was what saved them. So God bless the women's division, and so now's a good time to start watching Impact again.
I've said it for years. The women's evolution began in Impact Wrestling. Don't give me this 5 years ago.
Although I will give you one counter argument that someone said it started like with Shimmer with Sarah Del Rey, and I was like, that is the only other acceptable response to that where there was division.
Okay, it began on American television in Impact. Let's put it that way.
That is 100% accurate.
Yeah, we'll go with that. So. Overall rating 4.25 is just Tommy and I making the picks here, making the ratings here because, as I said, Mike is still hungover, and
and let's talk about why, because that might have been one of the that might be one of the few good things that happened that entire night.
Extreme Rules, the horror show Extreme Rules, and a tables match for the SmackDown Tag Team Championships was the kickoff show. And the New Day defending against Cesaro and Shinsuke Nakamura. We talked about it at the very beginning. What?
That was the kickoff for the show, and it was all downhill from.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it wasn't the kickoff show, but it's what started the show, I should say.
Wait, Cesaro wasn't on the kickoff show. He was on the main show.
That's right. Yeah. The kickoff show was actually Kevin Owens beating Buddy Murphy. That's right. But this started the show, and it was like, okay, tables match. Great work. I mean, I think the New Day was very happy to put Cesaro over in this instance. As much as they've talked.
There's no way they were not. There's no way they were not.
Definitely. I mean, they had a freaking Cesaro appreciation show on their podcast too.
They probably love him and Shinsuke Nakamura. Of course, Nakamura. You know what I always laugh about when it comes to this is like people want more recognition for Cesaro, and it occurs to me why they don't mention Nakamura as much because he has his recognition. Who in Japan doesn't know him?
Right.
So it's like that dude's career has already been set. All this is just gravy on top. So, but I'm glad with that. I was very happy with that.
So after that, it just okay. Here's the way I'll say how this show really felt to me. The matches themselves were great. You could tell what was being called in the ring, what was set up. This was done by the wrestlers themselves. They had a passion for it. It almost felt like, hey, Impact put on a great show last night. We got to respond somehow. And they put together a great match. But the finishes were corporate, written all over them. prime example. I mean, Rey Mysterio versus Seth Rollins, eye for an eye.
Oh,
It got very creative. They got real creative with this. This has never been the stipulation in any kind of match, but they got real creative as far as how do we tease the eye thing? How do we do this? How do we do that? And then they still got the wrestling in there. And it was great. It was fun. If this had been just a regular match, that would have been an awesome match to watch by itself. But then the finish, they got to go to Ray getting slammed to the steps. They got a nice, look like a prosthetic there, basically, or, like a glass eye type thing. And then they have Rollins throwing up on the side of the ring. Like, really? You're really trying to sell that this happened? I was like, oh, my God.
In the Attitude Era, that would have worked.
Maybe. Yeah.
But since you made it clear, Vince, that's not what you're doing anymore, it doesn't work when you've been making it clear for like years. You know what's ironic? Mm. This would have made sense if it was like Rosemary versus Jessica Havoc.
Yeah.
That would have made sense. That kind of it'd have been like, oh, eye for an eye match. That makes sense.
Yeah. TV 14, we got it. Yeah.
No one would have questioned it. Now, one person would have said, Rosemary Jessica Havoc are an eye for an eye match. Yeah, okay, that tracks. That makes a lot of sense.
We can do that, sure. Yeah.
It's like okay, so I will defend what I heard about the MVP Apollo Crews match. That Apollo Crews sadly tested positive for COVID, so that's why he wasn't there.
Okay.
So hopefully he'll recover soon. He'll be okay. That's what I heard. That's what I heard. I don't know. That's the last thing I read. So that explains that, and I'll let that one slide. That one had a legit reason.
They are still saying though Cruz is the U.S. title. He is officially still the U.S. title, so it wasn't official forfeit.
Okay,
so he's like out with an injury is the storyline they're running with. Yeah. So
So and even the Bayley Nikki Cross match was pretty decent.
Yeah.
And just like the Rollins Mysterio match, Asuka and Sasha was really good. Right up until
the end. God.
She sprayed the ref. Okay, that makes sense. I get that.
Just get another ref to come down. Yeah.
Get another ref. Call it no DQ. Call it no contest. Have Bayley and Kyrie get in and fight each other and throw the match out. What was this where Bayley threw a ref shirt on and counted one through the ref shirt? I was like,
then they had her try and explain it. They had her try and explain it on Raw. I was like, you know what? The ref couldn't see. He couldn't continue his job. Sasha was going for the pin, and I'm the role model. I had to step up and do what was best to make this fair. And then she counts the pin and whatnot. But yeah,
it's stuff like that keeps me from saying that was my favorite match of the night, because it almost was until the end, and because that messed it up. And honestly, as much as these rules confused me at first, but then I got it as the match was going. Drew and Dolph.
That was very creative.
Match.
Yeah, they did.
I think they had the best match.
And I like the stipulation too, by the way.
Yeah, because Drew had everything working against him. Literally, he almost couldn't do a thing that Dolph could get away with, and I like that. I was like, honestly, from a creative standpoint, that's actually pretty good.
Yeah, for those that didn't see, the stipulation Dolph eventually revealed was it was going to be Extreme Rules for Ziggler only, and if McIntyre got himself counted out or DQ'd, he would lose the title. That was his extensive stipulation, which you think more heels would put into a match if they get a stipulation, because, let me just cover every base I can to make sure I win. And I kind of like that. Like, he's got it. That match has to get creative. It reminded me a lot of, I think it was Shawn Michaels and Randy Orton, where Shawn wasn't allowed to use the super kick, so he'd chin music, or he would lose the match. It was a DQ. And so he had to get creative as far as, well, how am I going to beat this guy? And doing everything under the book to beat him. Eventually he loses, but still he's got to get creative. You got to see a different thing. And that's kind of what we saw with Drew in a bit and Dolph,
I like my favorite spot of that whole thing was when they were on the outside, there was the table. Drew went for a suplex. He was going to suplex Dolph at the table, but switched at the last minute and turned around and suplexed him on the floor. Yeah. And then said, "Damn it," because he couldn't use the table. I was like, "That's just good. That's just good stuff right there, man."
Very well done. That match was really good, and that was the last that was the last match that was non-cinematic, because where I thought there was going to be a few cinematic ones, the eye for an eye, for example, turned out not to be. Of course, the Wyatt Swamp fight was, and that was what closed the show. And reports had come out, this was filmed last Thursday. It was a 7-hour shoot because they were doing camera angle here, camera angle there for same scene. It was a pretty long day for everybody involved, production, and of course the talent. But I don't even know who won the damn thing because they really didn't declare it. It looked like an extended Bray Wyatt promo. That's really what it felt like to me.
Yeah, it's like, this is where I wonder how much creative control Bray had in this one.
I'd imagine a good amount.
But like as far as it goes, because it's like, because when he's had full creative control, you seem much better.
Yeah.
So I didn't hate it, so I don't want to just jump on that bandwagon. It wasn't my favorite thing I've ever seen. Like,
No, I mean, there's been better, obviously, but yeah.
I will say the Braun getting beat up by Braun moment, that was kind of clever.
That was pretty cool.
That was pretty cool. I'll give him that.
I feel like Bray had his fingerprints on it too when they had Alexa in a veil calling out to Braun and kind of going back to when they were teasing that they were going to be in some sort of love story with their mixed match challenge partnership.
Yeah.
So I mean that was kind of a cool, one of those full circle things Bray does.
So I guess my thing is now is like, is Alexa Bliss Sister Abigail doesn't know it, or can anyone Bray's powers influence be Sister Abigail at any given time, or what are we doing? I don't know what's happening here.
I've heard rumors Liv Morgan maybe cast Sister Abigail. I thought maybe we were going to be seeing that at that point, but that didn't happen.
And I thought one rumor was Paige was going to be Sister Abigail at one point.
They could have done that at one point too, but I think when this happening, that's not happening. Obviously, with the pandemic, and she's not been around the Performance Center.
That's fair.
But one thing I did enjoy was how they finished it, because Strowman just kicks him into the swamp. It looks like the Bray drowns, and he just says it's over. Here comes the copyright, and it fades to black. And I'm like, okay, that's it, great. I literally reached for my controller. I was watching PS4 to turn it off, and then boom, it's back, and here comes Bray reaching, and I was like, oh shit. I thought that was pretty well done, because everyone's like, oh, that's it, it's over, blah. They surprise you with that, and finally it looks like we're gonna get the Fiend versus Strowman. But yeah, go.
Yeah, like I said, I will say it's, and I don't know if it's my least favorite just because other cinematic matches have been so good, but it wasn't like completely horrible. It's just that I think the overall feel of the show kind of brought this down. So
yeah, I don't know how I feel about a cinematic match closing the show. I get kind of why they do it. It's hard to just go into that and then come back to the live show. But I don't know. I mean, with this one, didn't even have a title on the line, thank God, because we didn't really. Was it a win? It was just basically a big promo segment. That's all it felt like to me.
I think the last time that a cinematic match was good to close the show, aside from the Stadium Stampede, which is still hilarious.
Oh yeah.
Was the AJ and Undertaker one.
The Boneyard.
That one was the Boneyard. That was a solid show closer as far as I'm concerned, because that one felt like a legit fight, all the way through, just with typical Undertaker shenanigans thrown in, So
now, of course, as I mentioned, we picked 6 matches, I think, on this one. Yeah. And we basically had to throw out the Swamp fight because we don't really know who really won. It was basically a promo.
Yeah.
Cruz and MVP didn't even happen. And then based on Asuka and Sasha, that was basically a no contest. So believe it or not, we all technically went 3-0 picking this. So,
I don't understand this year. What are we doing this year? I don't get it.
The horror show of Extreme, it really was kind of more of a horror show. I mean, I said it, great matches, shitty finishes, in parts, and stuff that was really good. So,
And I guess that's the thing. It's like that kind of just brings it all down for me. It's like, Okay, here's another thing. So with the U.S. title match, so one of your guys can't make it.
Yeah.
You have You have every wrestler who's not booked in literally 3 other places. You can't throw on another match. You got Lashley there, Ricochet's there, so you couldn't put on another match just to like have these guys defend Apollo Crews. Andrade's there, all these guys. You couldn't put in one more match. That was it.
No, that's all they're running
Okay.
with. Then obviously this might have been filmed before that. Who knows? But that's what they're running with, and I don't mind it too much because the show ends pretty early. With no fans, the shows do run pretty quick. So, and it's kind of nice on a Sunday night. So
that's fair.
As far as WrestleCast ratings, 3.5 for me out of this one. It's a passing grade. I loved a lot of the action we got. It's just the finishes kind of took away from what we saw, and that's all people will remember oftentimes from these types of things. And the Swamp Fight was like I said, was just a glorified promo. That's really what it felt like to me. So I'm giving it 3.5. And Tommy, what about you?
It just kept feeling bogged down to me. I got to give it a 3. Just okay. Right in the middle. I don't know. I think going in, it had too much working against it. Like for one, that eye for an eye match thing just felt so wrong going in. I was like, what does that mean? You can't have no one said last man standing. No one said I quit. No one said street fight. Someone in the room said eye for an eye, and nobody stopped it.
Yeah, who knows? There's so much you could have done with that. Different Extreme Rules type matches. They were going for some crazy shock value, and it's a gimmick idea that's going to end up on Wrestle Crap. Basically, that's really what it's going to end up being. So
yeah.
What can you do? So overall rating 3.25. It was a horror show. And definitely Slammiversary won the weekend. There was a lot of buzz around it. It definitely took over social media more than I think WWE did. So interested to see how the buys come out for Slammiversary as well. Now, before we get into 1 minute warning and any other wrestling news, we had talked, of course, about the Speaking Out movement. And one of the people that was heavily vilified for it was Joey Ryan. Now, he's basically went social media silent and recently reemerged along with a 58-minute YouTube video where he goes, if you haven't seen it yet and you're curious what this video is about and you're not sure if you want to watch it, Tina and I did watch it, and I won't spoil anything, but basically what he does do is talk about the allegations against him and goes into detail that he made this video in part because no legal challenges have been made. Nothing's been filed in a court of law, so there's no pending litigation. So he's presenting his side of the story. I watched it. I leave it up to you if you feel the need to watch it. But I will say that there's a lot of this where we have to learn, I think, as people, how to talk to one another, how to act to one another. And while he presents a lot of his evidence as to why these allegations are false or certain ones, he does also he does own up to some mistakes that he made as well, based on what people have alleged him for. So, but what I'm trying to get around to it is saying it's not often how you talk to someone, it's how they perceive it. So just, you got to be careful a bit sometimes. So, and this is one of those situations where a lot of these stories are going to be, there's 3 sides to every story. It's what he says, what she thinks, and what the truth is. So, I leave it up to you if you want to watch it and form your own opinion about it. But this is one of those things that just won't go away. And
nope.
But one thing for people that are defending him on it, and one thing I've always said, you're innocent until proven guilty. And I do agree with that, because unfortunately so many times on social media, we're quick to make people guilty and have to prove them innocent somehow. And that shouldn't be the case, because one thing he does mention in the video that I totally agree with, that's been echoed by people like Barbie Hayden, she put on social media, is that there could be people that have been using the Speaking Out movement just to pile on. Maybe they have a vendetta against somebody and they just want to pile on and make it even worse. And I think there's a few cases that Joey Ryan does talk about where that could be the case, especially when he's mentioning a scorned ex-girlfriend of his. So, but check it out if you want to see it. Joey Ryan is back on Twitter. You can find his Twitter. He has a link to it. I think it's a pinned tweet to the YouTube video. And form your own opinion about it. You're welcome to share your opinion here if you want. I'm not sure if we will talk about it specifically on this show, but we'll see. I think I have a pretty good idea for what we're going to do next week, and we'll get to that. So, Tommy, do you have a 1 minute warning this week? Or are you good?
Not really, because it was what I was leading to with Impact earlier, and I was going to ask you this. So, well, I guess I can make it part of my 1 minute warning. So, yeah, you can go ahead and start the clock. I can keep it short.
All right. For those that aren't aware what a 1 minute warning is, this is really a chance for us every episode to just take a minute, talk about whatever we want, could be wrestling related. And Tommy, your time starts right now.
Okay, so what I'll talk about is pretty much what's been going on in Japan with Evil joining Bullet Club. No one has said for sure whether or not he is the leader or not. Tama Tonga did allude to the Evil era on Twitter. You say Twitter? I think it was Twitter. And everything. So that could be a thing. Everyone has confirmed Jay White is still in Bullet Club. Everyone who's in Bullet Club before the pandemic hit is still in the faction. They just can't get there, of course. Obviously, so my thing is, does this lead to either a division among Bullet Club, or does this lead to Evil starting his own faction, which I've been saying was going to happen literally since the moment he debuted. Like, I literally said he's going to be in LIJ for a little while, and then she's going to split. Now, I did think Sonata would split first, but now we have Evil, so, that's my thing. And so that was actually my question to you, JC. Do you think we're going to get a Bullet Club Civil War kind of again, because we kind of already had one? Or does Evil just take a whole bunch of guys and just drop out of the group and just form his own?
I think we'll get Bullet Club Wolfpack, bring back the red and black of the Wolfpack, a la NWO.
Bullet Club Evil Pack?
Why not, right? Have some fun with it, since they kind of picked it off from that. That could be a way to bring it back. I mean, you mentioned that there's a lot of Gaijin talent that just can't get to Japan right now, and there's a good amount of Bullet Club that is Gaijin talent. Jay White, Tama Tonga, Tonga Loa. So they might.
Kenta's from Japan, but he was living in the States so long. When this hit, he was stuck in the States.
Yeah, exactly. So there very easily could be a little bit of movement among the factions, and when this all goes away and they're back to having the regular talent back, there could get a little awkward. Could get a little awkward. Guys have been running the stable for a while, so.
Yeah. It was a funny moment, almost heart stopping, because New Japan had a show today. Hiromu Takahashi revealed he was wearing a Bullet Club shirt, but it was a ruse to just jump Evil before the match got started. Because Naito and Bushi were like, "Dude, you too?" And he's like, "No, I'm just kidding." And they jumped. So, but okay. Here's what I told everybody. Look, Gato, who's the booker, he's in Bullet Club. He's the main booker of New Japan. It was him and Jado, but Jado, I think, stepped back, and Gato's booking it now. Mm-hmm. In Gato's booking, I trust. I don't care anymore. It's like we've had these long cons between Okada finally beating Tanahashi, Naito finally getting his big win at Wrestle Kingdom and everything. I'm sorry. Gato has proven his booking to be absolutely worth waiting for. So did Evil winning seem out of nowhere? Yeah, but Gato's booking this. Right. If Gato's booking it, I'm here for it. I trust it. That's like, hey, man, because and I keep telling everybody this, when Okada first beat Tanahashi the very first time, everyone said that was a fluke. He was too young. He wasn't ready. He hadn't proven himself. Everyone said that. Fast forward, 8 years ago? Fast forward 8 years now. If Okada isn't in your top 5 wrestlers of all time, it's because you have absolutely no idea who he is whatsoever. Mm-hmm. If he's not in your top 5, he's got to be in your top 10. And because if you don't list him, everyone's like, "Oh, you don't watch New Japan, at all. You've never seen a New Japan match ever if you don't list Okada in your top 10. So it's like, well, could Evil be in that conversation one day? Yeah, maybe. But right now, they're working with what they've got. They're I wouldn't say scrambling. I'm just saying they're making do with the best they've got right now. And New Japan booking for the past 8 years has not steered me wrong. So
yeah,
screw it, let them go. Do what they got to do.
Let it ride. See what they do. I mean, they're kind of just getting restarted with coming off the pandemic as well. So let's see how they.
And my thing is, my other thing is when people who complain, what else do you have to do?
Yeah.
Like, I don't like this match. Okay. There's other things to watch, but what else do you have to do? Okay, whatever. But
Yeah,
anyway.
This is going to be an interesting month coming up too, because there's no major pay-per-view events until SummerSlam in August. Impact is Bound for Glory in October, and even before that, AEW has All Out Labor Day weekend in September. So we're going to get a few weeks where there's no events. We're going to be still trying to provide some content here every week.
Because every time a week off, something happens. And
right. We'll kind of keep up with some of the news out there. And we're going to have a little fun next week. First off, our Twitter account, @CCG_WrestleCast, and subscribe here to the Countdown City Geeks YouTube channel. Pay attention to our Twitter, because I think what we're going to do next week, something fun, we're going to rank the cinematic matches that have happened going back to, I think, Final Deletion in Impact with Broken Matt Hardy. We're going to kind of go back, list them all.
Brother Nero. I knew you.
I think we're going to go back and rank them and says, you know what? This has kind of been all the craze of the quarantine. So let's go back and rank them from best to worst. We've had no shortage of them, especially recently. So I think it's a good idea for us to just kind of jump in on that and just see how we feel about it. So stay tuned for that. You can comment here how you would rank the cinematic matches, or pay attention to our Twitter. Pretty soon, within the next day or two, I'm going to be listing all of them, and I want to see where you guys rank them, what your top 5 is, your top 10, whatever. So,
yeah.
Thank you, everybody, for watching. Thank you, everybody, for subscribing. Tommy, thank you for joining. It's always fun to talk wrestling, talk major events, but it's crazy that over the last month we had them almost back to back to back, and now finally we're getting a little bit of a break between that. And so we'll see how the wrestling world fluctuates. On NXT, William Regal's supposed to make some big announcement this week. I don't know if it's... My thought is it's going to be Keith Lee has to drop the North American title, and there's going to be a tournament to crown a new North American champion. That's my guess. Or maybe they'll announce a takeover show sometime soon. So all eyes will be on NXT this Wednesday, and I'm sure eyes will continue to be on AEW. Which reminds me of a funny meme that I did see. One picture you have NXT fans saying NXT is better, and AEW fans saying AEW is better, and they're arguing back and forth. And the bottom picture you have WWE fans. SmackDown wasn't that good. Yeah, neither was Raw. So it's just... It made me laugh today. I thought I would share. If I can find the picture, it'll be up here. So thank you.
That's good. That is good.
Thank you, everybody. Keep watching wrestling. Keep supporting it. Hopefully this all goes away soon. So
hopefully.
For the Countdown City WrestleCast, this is Tommy.
Thanks, guys.
And I'm JC. And as always, heels and baby faces, remember, pro wrestling is real. People are fake.
We almost had it.
Yeah.
So if you want to subscribe to the channel, click right here.
And if you want to watch more WrestleCast videos, I got 3 words for you. Click right here.